Welcome to the final real part of the Battle for Bikini Bottom SpongeBob only playthrough. This is unfortunately as far as we're gonna get. See, we can do pretty well in the Flying Dutchman's graveyard, surprisingly enough, despite the fact that we don't have to use level. But there's still some roadblocks, and this is where we're gonna see the run meet a very unfortunate and premature end. We'll get very close, I assure you, to actually completing this, but we're gonna be a few specialists short.
A fearsome specter waits.
I like how they say a specter awaits while also showing the specter right then. Right in front of you.
Who
In any
dares
case.
disturb the Flying Dutchman?
It's me,
I don't need any cookies.
but I'm
There's
not
really
a
only
Shell
one
Scout.
reason we need to do anything
What's the matter?
in this first
It's
area,
these
actually.
darn robots. They threw
Because
me off
there's
my
a sock
own
we
ship
want.
there.
So
Now
we're gonna have to
those
run
robots
about
have
halfway
got
through
their
this
own
area to pick up a
pirate
sock.
Is there anything I can do to
That
Now
aside,
that you mention it,
there's
get
unfortunately
up to my ship
two
anyway.
spatches we can't get in this area.
that adorable hat
Both of which
available
because
in
we
a
can't
size
actually
3?
lower the goo, and the goo is another matter where the only way to actually activate it is to use the cruise bubble, because it depends on us activating something that only responds to the cruise bubble. Dream music. I always found it interesting to use weird music in the raw introductions. This one actually also involves Spongebob, which these don't usually do, which is interesting. I like how they actually script it specifically so he shoots right at you at the very beginning too. Nice details. In any case, I always find it odd that they don't actually introduce the slit to you in SpongeBob's Dream, even though you're probably expected to go there first. SpongeBob's Dream is listed last on the list of places you go in the pause menu, but I would think you'd go there first because that's not a special requirement. In any case, so we can't lower the goo at all, for reasons mentioned previously, which means that 1, we can't pick up the spatula that's on the sunken ship, and 2, we can't pick up the one that's at the end of the SpongeBob route. Unfortunately, there's no real hope of clipping under the goo and picking those up either, because under the goo, there's nothing but void. There's no actual ground under the goo, so if you manage to clip under the goo, we just fall forever, which is very, very unfortunate. In any case, we can pick up the sock here, and there's nothing more to do here, actually, in this area, since we can't pick up those 2 spatulas, as depressing as that is. Unless there's a way to clip into the cage spatula, I don't know about that. But with regard to the spatula that's on the second ship, unless we can find some way to clip through goo from the top, there's not much we can do. So because I don't want to deal with the rest of this area, what I do is I just jump up from here with a very strange up climbing animation. You can also run back to the Bikini Bottom from here if you want to. But I decided to just take the long route and run around. It's actually longer to run the opposite way, surprisingly enough. Reason being that there's the Flying Dutchman battle area that you have to go around the circumference of. This is the scenic route anyhow. This also allows me to show off one little thing. You can actually jump to the giant sunken ship, the goo tanker, from here. And you can actually attempt to close the valve, shut off the goo, to lower the goo level from there. I'm really curious what would happen actually if you were to jump onto the ship from here, because you can reach it. And then from there, use the cruise bubble while you're actually inside the hatch, and have the hatch just close on you. I've never tried that. But as you can see, you can jump on up here. And I don't demonstrate it very well here because I don't want to fall below. And you can't actually stand on the hatch, surprisingly enough. But if you hit that with the normal attack with your bubble wand, it does nothing. It only responds, like many other problematic things in this game, to a particular attack, and that attack is the cruise bubble. So we can't lower the goo level. Very, very sadly. As such, we're forced to just keep on moving. It's actually pretty astounding just how much of the Flying Dutchman's graveyard we can skip. If you don't want to do any work at all in the Flying Dutchman's graveyard, you can actually just start out in the first area, run around the circumference like I did here, head on to the next area. The next area is about as convenient as this one, actually. Surprisingly enough, there are actually hardly even any collectibles in this area, despite the fact that you're supposed to play as Sandy and it has a lot of platform potential. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to pick up one. I can't even remember if it's a sock or spatula. Do I actually forget to pick up a sock? I think I totally forgot to pick up the sock, didn't I? Did I just pick up afterwards? I think I pick it up after. Maybe I just forgot. I have a feeling I managed to forget, and that's really dumb. If I forgot, there's no... Oh, whatever. There is actually a sock, I believe. Yes, it's a sock. That's in a big, menacing green pit. And you can just drop on down to that pit. I'm gonna do it from here. Okay. I got myself nervous for a second. I couldn't quite remember the order I did things in. So you just run over to here. And because Hans isn't worrying about our lives at all. Ah, yes, I couldn't remember. It's not just a sock, despite the fact that most bungees at this point in the game are. Well, bungees in general. It is, in fact, a spatula. Well, I guess it's about an even distribution of socks and spatulas with bungees. Never really knew why. In any case, we get that spatula by just running on over to it, which is great. And then we can warp on back up here. Since we picked up another spatula. In fact, well, no, because we picked up that spatula just now, we can warp up to the top here. I unfortunately haven't found a way to skip this particular wall jump. I almost managed to climb up to the top of this thing by climbing on some stuff along the side. Some broken parts of the ship, but there's just one jump I can't get high enough on. It brings me up right where I'm standing right now. Where I said now. It brings you up there, but just didn't manage to make it work. I wanted to make it work to show off for this run, but it didn't work out, unfortunately. So that's the most we've actually done so far. That one wall jump. And then we actually have to do things pretty legitimately for the most part of this ship battle. Kind of. See, there are two main things that we can do to worry about.
Here's what you need to do.
Well, I honestly don't know what happened with that bridge shiny object at all. That was not planned.
Shoot the Dutchman's cannons.
Cannon do.
But we need to worry about two things. Well, one's not a thing we really have to worry about, I suppose, but it's a thing I decided not to worry about. The thing is, we're supposed to play a Sandy here, as you might recall, which you can't do. That's not actually any convenience as I think it would be because of a really simple oversight. It took me a while to actually realize that it was even here. Also, that slick is really hard to get past. It's probably the single most difficult area in this game to get past. But, one, we can actually get the sock by just running up this rope. This one I found pretty soon. And in case you ever want to get up top to this area as Spongebob, what's up this ship, you can. Don't know I ever would. Ta-da! I can use that to get onto the high area up here. There's no reason to do that. But it means Spongebob can actually access every area in this one ship room area, whatever you want to call it. But to actually get to the top of the first ship, we're going to have to do something a little different. See, this was a really simple oversight by the developers. It took me way too long to find. I'm kind of embarrassed by how it took me a long time to find this. And for a short period of time, I actually thought it was impossible to complete this objective with SpongeBob. But you can just jump up here. And then jump on the platform. Yeah! And that's the platform Sandy's supposed to go on. Meaning we're now in the Sandy portion of this room, so to speak. Hence the hooks and the bottom. And you can use that to get to these other areas. Do it once more. Get it really quick. You can actually get it as it's rising up. And we're actually in the last area that we're supposed to be able to get to. Something I find really interesting is that I didn't understand why this was the case. That springboard doesn't appear until you actually complete this. You get the spatula right here. Yeah, you actually see the bubbles in the bottom right corner that just appeared. And you can hear the pop sound as it appears because you pick up that spatula. I don't know why they use that spatula as a trigger for this thing appearing. Anyways. High point. In any case, you can pick up the spatulas without any problem. And that's the last one we can get in this area. Now, just to point it out, because it's kind of weird. If you set off these cannons, I'm not sure how many people are actually set off the cannons without destroying the lasers. This is what happens if you haven't destroyed the lasers yet. They destroy the cannonballs, okay. The idea is you need to destroy the cannons or destroy the lasers, and then set off the cannons, and that'll set off the cutscene that allows you to fight the Flying Dutchman. Except, for some reason, if you hit the button to fire the cannons, it actually opens up the Flying Dutchman fight in the pause menu, so you just warp to it from there, so you don't actually have to destroy the lasers at all. I also, kind of inconveniently, I was really confused for a moment when I went to the pause menu and realized I didn't have as many spatulas as I was supposed to. I realized that I actually forgot to pick up the first spatula at the end of the first room. I take a moment to realize also that the fastest way to do that would actually be to warp to the following room, and then just go backwards. But this is the final spatula that we can actually pick up in a level in this entire playthrough, unfortunately. At least as far as I've been able to work out so far. That leaves us at 65, with a couple of spatulas to be had from good old Patrick as well. So we have, as you can see, I believe 68 socks it was. I did, as I mentioned before, find a number of socks in this playthrough while recording this playthrough, despite not having found them on my original route 3 years ago. I think I found 6 or so, actually. Unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to get me another spatula. I need 2 more socks for that to actually help. But 68, that's actually a really good portion of this game's socks. You can actually get a lot of what this game expects us to get, despite the fact that we're not using the majority of the things that we're supposed to be using. Anyways, it's really just the same deal as it was in Mr. Krabs. We turn things in over and over and over and get a few spatulas for it. This will leave our final spatula count for us to see. And finally, 71. 71 spatulas I managed to actually pick up in this playthrough. Unfortunately, I haven't managed to do anything more than that, despite my best efforts. I can do well in most of these levels. You can actually get most of the stuff in most levels, but unfortunately, we need 75 spatulas.
And then stop on your children! And stop on your children's children! This has been a Bikini Bottom news flash!
Thank you. Yeah, I have no idea why that appeared a second time. No idea why it appeared a second time in this playthrough. But we don't have 75 spatulas, so that's where this playthrough ends. But I will show the next part, a bonus part, where how we actually get to the boss if we manage to get access to it. We just can't really do that yet. But, see ya.